How's it going, everybody? So in this video, I'm going to be talking a little bit about how to have more fulfilling dates and more fulfilling interactions with females if you are a male who, I guess, is not experiencing this at your current state of being. So keep in mind, I do not want to become a dating expert. I don't want to talk about these subjects too much. And there are very real reasons as to why I don't really talk about these subjects on the internet. And one of the biggest ones is I don't really want to identify as a dating expert, even though over my life I have noticed, surprisingly so, that I'm probably in the top 5% of as far as success with women, I guess. But at least that's what I've kind of extrapolated. But I don't really care. Most fucking information on the internet is just some dude with a camera who doesn't actually have any real credibility. And so, yeah. But the big reason why I want to make this video is because to me, it's so fucking simple. It's so freaking obvious. But just like most subjects, people overcomplicate everything and just go down really weird rabbit holes that make it even harder for them to actually achieve the goal that they're intending to solve. It's freaking crazy. So why the fuck would I not share these insights? Anyway, and I always have comments from butthurt motherfuckers because, they want to believe that they are doomed, and I just hate it. It's so disgusting. So let's see. So that's actually going to be the first thing. If you have kind of like limiting beliefs, if you are kind of like this, you have I guess, pathetic kind of tendencies, let's say, you are going to repel women. You're going to repel other men as well who do not share that pathetic kind of vibration. So that's the first thing. It's basically you need to become a healthy human being. You need to understand value systems. You need to understand what value systems actually are. Okay? And then you need to align yourself with your value system. And you need to understand how people with different value systems than you, for one, they could be more compatible or less compatible depending on what matters to them, depending on what they believe and how they approach their lives. And this is going to be fundamental for all friendships, all kind of like attraction-based things, careers, and how people in your career space interpret you. It has to do with value systems and how different people's value systems interact with each other. But at a very simple matter, we're talking about what matters to you. What matters to you? Does health matter? Does deeper truth matter? Does religion matter? Does superstition matter? Okay, and then not only that, but why does it matter? Some people go to the gym because they want to reverse their chronic health issues. Other people go to the gym because they want to look better to attract the opposite sex, which I would say is stupid. Other people go to the gym because they just enjoy the rush of endorphins. So it's not so much about going to the gym. It's not the gym that matters, but it's why are they doing it? That is their value system, right? Like, why do you invest time in doing what you love, what you're doing, right? And so, for example, for me, I go to the gym because I just love training. I just love the feeling of my blood pumping and the oxygen, and I like the rush that it gives me, especially listening to music. It just feels amazing, and I can get into a flow state and stuff like that. I value that flow state. And that's what motivates me and keeps me going. And so, if I was to date a girl who goes to the gym because she wants a really nice butt and she wants to look really nice, and the whole reason she goes is to look better on the outside, I mean, that's cool and all. I'm a personal trainer. I've helped so many girls do that. But chances are I'm not going to be able to have fun with that girl. It has nothing to do with even the gym, but that's the value system in which the rest of the world, she sees the rest of the world. Because not only do I just go to the gym because I enjoy the process of doing so, I'm making these videos because I love getting into that flow state. I love the process of kind of just like, I just enjoy sharing my ideas, and I enjoy digging deeper and reflecting on my ideas. Same thing with personal training and stuff like that. I enjoy the process of making people better because that's my value system. If you kind of like try to motivate me with, whatever, I'm more so interested in the feelings I'm going to get when I do something rather than the reward I get at the end. And so generally speaking, somebody who's more concerned with how they look and and the external material kind of stuff, we're operating on completely different frequencies. And so that's likely to become a very important factor when I'm just talking to somebody. And even that, talking to a girl, I enjoy the process of doing so. But and that's the entire purpose of doing so. So anyway, that's oftentimes why guys will get in relationships with girls, or that's why a lot of times like girls you'll get bored with the girl and not realize it because you're so focused on how good she looks. You need to start to when you go on dates with girls, ask them questions to try to identify their value system. Like, oh, you like going to the gym? That's cool. Why do you, what makes you like working out so much? And then they'll tell you, oh, well, I just love the feeling. I love the pump, blah, blah, blah. It's like, okay, that girl has intrinsic motivation towards the gym. So she's compatible with my value systems because I also go to the gym for that reason. Another person might be like, well, I just like getting stronger. I like achieving these little milestones. Every time I lift a little bit more weight on the squat, it keeps me motivated, and that's why I go, because I like getting stronger, right? And usually that's kind of an intrinsic, like, I enjoy the process, but also there's like goals. And so you could tell that girl's probably got a value system for ambition, right? Same thing with, she's going to school and you ask her, well, why are you going to school, right? And she might be like, well, because I love the experience of college and blah, blah, blah. Or maybe she won't say that. Most people won't say that. She might be like, well, because I need to make money or whatever, going to get this degree or whatever, right? And then you ask her, well, what are you majoring in? And she'll be like, well, nutrition science or whatever. You'd be like, well, why do you like nutrition science so much? Like, what compels you to learn more about nutrition science? And by the way, there's going to be more kind of casual, friendly discussion in between these questions, but these are just examples of how you can kind of, you're asking questions, and everybody loves talking about themselves, so this is going to make her want to talk more. She's going to be talking more. She's going to enjoy the interaction because you're showing genuine interest in who she is. And hopefully you're also enjoying the kind of like talking, and you got to kind of like make it fun as well. But from there, she's going to tell you all sorts of different things about herself that only are presenting this information is only coming forth because you're inquiring, because you're seeking first to understand rather than to be understood. But what do most guys do? Most guys will go on and on about stupid fucking bullshit that they don't even care about because they're trying to impress the girl. They're trying to sell themselves. They're trying to be like, oh yeah, I fucking am an acrobat and I fucking do all these fancy moves. Like I have a PhD in nutrition and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, they don't even know what the girl cares about yet. They don't even know who the girl is. And so the main thing is you need to get to know the girl. You need to get to know the girl, and you need to be able to see if you're compatible with her or not. And then during this process, hopefully you can kind of like also kind of enjoy the process of talking to the person. There should be a natural flow of humor. And that's going to depend on the girl, and it's going to depend on you, and it's going to depend on your state of being. If you're in a flow state, if you're in a naturally kind of like fun state, it's going to be very easy for jokes to fly off the tip of your tongue. But also it depends on your level of anxiety and if you're already kind of living in accordance with your values. So that's also another value. Do you value more serious personalities, or do you value more kind of fun personalities? And then from there, why do you value that? Some people prefer to be around others who are really kind of laid back and less energetic, just because they believe that some bad's going to happen if they let loose. And so their anxiety is kept at ease when they're around other people who are also kind of scared of talking, or just other people who are laid back. And so that's important, because some people are laid back due to kind of like weird mental constructs that actually make them suffer. And they might actually be better off overcoming those kind of negative constructs surrounding their demeanor, so that they can kind of let loose and be a little bit more free and enjoy themselves more. So yeah, and it's so deep, man. And I guess it's, most people don't see these things. Let's see. So another thing is just being able to like lay the fuck back, right? Just enjoy life. And so you need to develop the skill of conversation. You need to be chatting up the grocery store cashiers, just having fun. Like really just your goal should be to raise the overall vibration of like everywhere you go, right? Just having fun, trying, not really trying, but like just spreading positive vibes. And it should not be try hard. It should be like spontaneous bits of humor and not like jokes, because jokes imply like an intention to like make someone laugh. But it should be some kind of spontaneous humor that just comes up out of nowhere. And it can be about anything. Someone else could try to make a joke and you think that joke is not funny, and you laugh you're like, oh, was that supposed to be a joke? It's funny that they even tried. Like, it's like, well, good try. Right? It's like spontaneous. It's like and that's something you build too. Some people call it state, right? But the main purpose of this is, number one, to develop kind of like a overall attitude of fun, an attitude of low-level gratitude. It's to become just a fun human being, so that every day is not boring anymore. If you feel lonely, if you feel bored, it's kind of hard to feel lonely and bored if everywhere you go, you're making everyone your friend. Okay? Like at a low level, And people will remember you as like the positive guy, the optimistic guy, the friendly guy. Girls will remember that. So one of the most common personality types that girls get is a guy who's trying to be James Bond, or the guy who is trying to be slick. People are playing not to lose rather than to win. You need to play to win, not to avoid losing. And what that really means is you shouldn't care about if someone thinks you're weird or not. The more weird you are, the better. As long as, well, not really, but as long as you own it and you're not like seen as crazy. Because girls need to feel comfortable around you. They need to feel like they're not, they're not being threatened, that their life is not at stake. And if you're too serious, they're just not going to have the spark that they want, right? And so, you hear a lot of this shit like nice guys finish last, or girls only want a guy who's going to cheat on them. That's not true, but there is some truth behind the idea that guys who, bad guys supposedly usually get women easier. And really what that is that it's guys who don't have attachment to the outcome, who are just going with the flow and enjoying the process of engaging with women. That's really why that dynamic exists. It's because a supposed nice guy or whatever, he is generally he's just doing whatever feels good in the moment. And that's really more on par with like the stereotype of feminine energy. Is girls are pinging off the emotions of the moment. And there's reflected in mirror neurons, okay, which is basically whatever you feel, the girl's going to feel as well. If you're an anxious wreck, it doesn't matter how many like manipulative tactics you try to use, the girl's going to feel it, just like everyone else in your environment. If you change your paradigm from trying to obtain the girl to all of a sudden enjoying the moment with the people around you, now every single moment of your life becomes an opportunity for girls to kind of like get closer to you. You'll start to notice an effortless attraction if you shift your paradigm this way. You switch it from trying to obtain the girl to just enjoying your everyday interactions. And with girls, if you like the girl and you want to go further, you do have to pursue a little bit. You've got to, hey, we should go out for coffee sometime, but make her feel special, because you like her, so she technically is special. So you say you've got a cute vibe to you. We should go, to an extent. Like I always throw that out there. Like you got a cute vibe to you to an extent, because then they're like, what do you mean? And it creates this suspense, and just like it's just a funny little weird thing you throw out there. It's meaningless, but it just makes it more entertaining, right? It ups the vibe. You're like, you got a cute vibe to you to an extent. Like I've seen cuter. They love that shit. And then you're like, we should hang out for coffee, sometime. And it's like, and the reality is, it doesn't need to be anything crazy. Like, oh, I'm going to invite you to this 5-star dinner where I pay all this money, we do wine. It's like, that is the worst fucking idea ever. To like take a girl to a fancy date, it's like the first date, is so stupid. Because the whole goal should be to get to know the girl, right? What is her value system? Learn how her humor works. Learn more about the fucking girl. And to enjoy the interaction. It's very hard to enjoy an interaction when you have so much stimulus in the environment. You have the wine being brought out, all the frickin' mariachis or like whatever. You know what I mean? Like the environment's way too chill. It's too fancy. And I've actually heard over and over again from girls say that they don't like that. It's too much pressure for them. They're like, whoa, like, you know what I mean? No matter how much you tell them, you don't have to worry. In the back of their head, they're like, oh, do I have to pay him back somehow and crap like that? It makes them feel like there's an ulterior motive. And the reason why is because a lot of girls are used to guys doing all that crap to compensate for the lack of compatibility that they have. Like, the reason girls don't like certain guys, a lot of times, it's not that the guy, there's something inherently wrong with the guy. A lot of times, it's that you two are just not compatible at the moment. And if a guy doesn't have, like, a healthy sense of self, or a healthy self-esteem, or a healthy alignment in his value systems, or he's just not a healthy human, he's got an unhealthy psychology and stuff, a lot of times you can literally be super compatible with a girl, but you're never able to actually see that compatibility or pursue the relationship further because of the lack of health in your psychology. You know, you'd be super compatible with a girl and you take her out to some crazy fucking dinner thing, on the first date, and then it's like not a good opportunity for y'all to kind of explore that compatibility, because of the seriousness of the situation at this point, right? You're spending I have all the money in the world, it's fine, I don't mind, I could afford it. It's like, it doesn't matter. the vibe is too much, right? You need to instead create that 5-star dinner with your energy. So yeah. So yeah, I mean, having positive emotions, sharing positive emotions everywhere you go, not being try hard about it. It needs to be a natural occurrence. Basically, you need to cultivate positive emotions inside your body, have a 5-star dinner inside your body, and then share little bits of the entree with everyone you meet. You should have an endless supply of fancy entrees for other people to feel, right? Like analogies like that literally just come up out of nowhere, and it makes things more lively. People want that shit. So, and then when you're on a date, you need to still maintain that kind of like good vibes, like that type of spontaneous humor and fun energy, which requires a degree of supposed vulnerability. But it's like vulnerability that you're channeling, an openness that you're channeling more towards fun, right? Just because it feels good in the moment. And then at the same time as having those fun vibes, you need to be learning more about the girl, okay? And if you're a guy and you're not genuinely like interested in the girl's brain and her mind and her emotions, you're not genuinely interested, you're not genuinely wanting to ask questions, if you're like, nah, screw that, why would I want to ask all these questions and blah, 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 then you are not a friendly, relatable person. That's what relating is. Learning more about other people and exploring other people, and then kind of like bouncing back and forth based on that. Okay? Sometimes personalities clash, sometimes value systems clash, and other times they mix. And they don't need to be exactly like you. Someone can have completely different value surrounding a certain subject, you know, and that can actually make them more compatible. But opposites don't always attract. It just depends on where they are opposite, you know. Like for me, I love reflecting deeply on life, and but a lot of girls who also like that tend to actually just be a little bit too, it builds anxiety and it builds obsessive thinking patterns, and the girl might think that's cool, but I don't, that generally that might not mix. As much as like having a girl who's just completely like doesn't, you know, completely laid back and is not really as worried. It's easier to have fun with a girl. Have fun meaning go to the gym and enjoy the vibe if she's laid back and just enjoying the energy, compared to someone who's like trying to talk to me about psychology of other humans and crap. I'm like, we could do that over coffee if you take some reishi mushroom with that coffee to calm that anxiety a little bit. But not at the gym, damn it. Nah. Anyway, yeah. So I don't know. I'm really tired of talking about this. But if you have any other questions and more, because I have so many tips for people, and it's really more. It's not even about like it's not about obtaining a relationship or obtaining a girl. My whole life, I see people with this flawed approach. It's like, I just want to like marry someone and have a family, and all. It's like, bro, good luck with the child support and the divorce and all that crap. You do not get a successful kind of like relationship or family and all that crap by seeking the relationship and the babies and the marriage. You can get that actual kind of experience, but if you're not focusing more on the day-to-day moments with that person and how you feel about them, that's where you get put on World Star Hip Hop, and you get put on the internet with all your like crazy arguments and everything else. It's like, and a lot of times the girl may have be amazing. She may be absolutely amazing, and I've had a experience with this actually. But you're so focused on all these ideas and the outcome, and you're focused on how in alignment is she with my values, just too focused on the mental shit, that you can't see the beauty that y'all are creating in the moment. And that can happen when you're really into dating philosophy and you're into like self-help books and shit. At a certain point, you gotta go beyond that and seek out a life that feels good to you. So, yeah, I'm done talking about this. Let me know in the comments if there's anything you want me to touch on. Again, this is a very nuanced topic. Some of these things, there's a lot more to it, and it's never just like, yes, you should ask the girl questions, or yes, you should have fun, or yes, you should do this, and not that. Sometimes it's a matter of, well, you should do this, but also do the opposite. Sometimes at the same time. But that's called nuance. That's called complexity. And until you're able to think on that level, you're going to have a lot of kind of like shaky kind of like experiences. All right. Have a good day and a nice life.